Secondly, we're in a situation where we have put together, and you guys did it for our the President Obama's administration before this. We have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics.
Good day, everybody. How's it going? Beautiful Sunday it is. So anybody that's watching this for the first time, real quick, we had some issues in 2020, November, that had to do with our selection process for our leaders, our presidential and senators and different people. I can't really say exactly what it is because if I do, YouTube will jump all over me like white on rice. Anyhow, we've been working really hard as patriots to try to straighten out what happened. And also, you know, we have not exactly met the goals that we would like to achieve at this point in time, which is okay. So that's life. Doesn't deter us at any point. Matter of fact, it only makes us work harder. We're for truth and integrity, and we want people to know that we are of peace, and we want freedom for everybody. We don't want to tell anybody what to do. We don't want to rule over anybody. This is all for freedom for everybody. So my efforts for this is to not try to dictate anybody or overturn anything that's not supposed to be. You know, I'm out for the truth, and so that's what we're all about. So anybody that's watching this for the first time, thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate everybody for being here. With that being said, I'll get to some of the news that has to do with what happened in 2020 with our people picking process. That's a code word that I'm going to use for what happened, because we can't say exactly what that was because of the fact that YouTube is all like, oh no. Wendy Rogers has been a forefront because I'm pretty sure if you're new to this whole thing, if anybody's tuning in this for the first time, Arizona had a thing where they checked all the papers. I'm using code words, everybody, so like I say, bear with me. Whenever we casted our papers to choose who our leaders were going to be, there needed to be a process to check that. And Arizona was one of the first people to do the big A, we'll call it that. And Wendy Rogers has been an advocate for the truth as well. And so a lot of evidence was uncovered and discredited by the left-wing media considerably. They chopped up all the information to make it look insignificant. And the findings were very significant. Anomalies are very, very big in a lot of states that we're not even talking about, but we're having to work with what we got. They were claimed to be that the none of this F word would have been I can't say, like I say, I got to use code words. None of the F's or none of the illegitimate stuff is enough to actually change any of the outcome. Is what the mainstream media likes to talk about. They think that that's the case when it's actually not, because there's a lot of evidence. And it's a real evidence that can hold up showing otherwise. So it's being the fact that we're getting pretty wound into 2022, we've only got a certain amount of period of time for information is deleted. We're really going to have to try to work hard with the wins that we've got so far. Now, needless to say that things aren't over. The Fat Lady hadn't sung. There's a good chance that things may become more involved as far as getting the people held accountable, people being held accountable in 2020. So I'll get into this real quick, and these first few articles are going to be what we're talking about. Wendy Rogers right now recently, January 22nd, urgent call to action, critical election reform to be considered on the Arizona Senate floor. They are going to bring bills and different forms of legislation to secure this next process, and it's for fairness. There's no voter suppression. Matter of fact, any of the things that they're trying to accommodate are pretty much, other states have had this for years. Okay, so nobody's talking about those states. They're only attacking the states that are trying to get where those other states were securely. And see, they've been used by the left, these vessel states, to obtain power. What do you like that right there? Because of the lackadaisical laws that they have, so far as the process of checking these things and the people picking process procedures. The laws have been real lackadaisical, and so that's been the left's way of taking advantage of that back door, and they're trying to close that back door. The left is pissed off, So a lot of the stuff that are being approved is nothing no more than what other states have already had. So this is all for people just tuning in and trying to get acclimated in the world of what we're getting into, the red pill world. Okay, so bear with me, existing people that's been on this channel for so long. Thank you, by the way, so much for being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. We are fighting an information war, and we are up against, I could say, a doable target, because we're pretty daggone tough, and there's a lot more of us than there are of them. So, to get to where we need to be at, we need Wendy Rogers to be able to pass some of those bills in Arizona. So if you're in Arizona, this is where you get to shine a little bit. I want you to do some calls and emails, make that voice of yours heard. Get down there and just tell those people that we want this stuff to go through. This is a big deal, and you can have a long life and a career as a politician. We don't want career politicians, but I'm just saying you could actually, if you work for us, then you're if I were to be in Congress, I would want to be the congressperson that could walk into Walmart and somebody wouldn't shoot at me, they'd shoot for me. Protect me. I want the public to love me on the grounds of me being a good person. Money will only get you so far. A lot of people with a lot of money are really, really, really miserable. So think about that whenever you're a politician and they say, hey, you got $1 million, you want to go screw America over? It's not worth it. It ain't worth it. There is a God. God will shake that in front of your face when it's time too. So anyways, I'm trying to get real quick here. I'm trying to make this fast. Okay. So getting into it says this was in Arizona. That's what Wendy Rogers is doing in Arizona. In Wisconsin, investigator Gableman filed a suit to jail some of our Congress in Wisconsin. He says right here, as the Gateway Pundit reported earlier, Green Bay Mayor Eric Genrich. I love the comments. I couldn't pronounce Waukesha earlier. I was saying Waukesha. Somebody in the comments said, "Hey, it's Waukesha," and I appreciate that. Help me. I need it over here. We'll help each other. So tell me how to say that last name, Genrich. Help me out over here. It says right here, that mayor gave the keys to the arena where the papers were stored in Wisconsin. This was supposed to be a secure area. He gave the keys up to the guy. His name was Michael Spitzer Rubenstein. Michael Spitzer Rubenstein is this little fiery redheaded dude who's been fussing back at Gableman in the hearings. And I'm really hopeful that he needs his behind locked up for a little bit. He needs a little bit of that 60 days. He needs to get a little bit of that, some of that jailhouse love. That'll help him out. Anyhow, we then reported that emails revealed that Spitzer, Wisconsin state led for the National Vote at Home Institute, was given a secret internet access to the hotel convention center where the papers were held in Green Bay. So, I think there was if I'm not mistaken, sir, memory serves me right, there was a breach in one of the places, and there was a door was left wide open, and the alarm was going off. And when they found there and it's been going off for a couple hours, nobody came to check it out. Somebody had called off some of the sheriffs. Now I can't remember if that was Wisconsin. I just know that happened somewhere. I need to research that, so bear with me if I'm wrong. Or anybody in the comments knows different, please put in the comments what I'm talking about. So to see that happen would be beautiful. To see some people get put in the jailhouse for I would say messing around, not doing what they're supposed to do. Especially everybody getting mad at all the people on Trump's side not adhering to the subpoenas, and they're not wanting to go. They get mad at them, but they don't do nothing like they're supposed to. And there was a bear with me here just for 1 second. PA Secretary of State's high-minded talk of election security and dark conspiracies hides a low-minded political power play. PA Senate President pro tempore Corman and Senator Douche, help me with that one too. I want to call him Dush because he's on our side. I don't want to be like Douche. But anyways, asked court to end stay on PA election investigation. In other words, some of the Dems and the people at the Crazy Fax Machine Company had they've got this. The other week or so, I was like, "Yay! They're going to do their thing where they check the people picking papers," and then it all got put to a halt, which made me look bad. But it wasn't my fault. I just been reporting on what I heard. However, I'm waiting on to see what happens here, and there's movement in the water. We reported on the proposed investigation on the Fulton County, Pennsylvania's V machines that they have been halted in the Pennsylvania Supreme Court due to the request from the Pennsylvania Secretary of State and the D voting machines. Oh, we'll get it all wrong. Excuse me. These two entities then provided a nearly 700-page document with their reasons why they're trying so hard. But the thing about it is like, Corbin and they're like kind of like, could you imagine the tension between those two? And they want this to go forward. We need to have this to go forward. We need to be able to see this process take place, and it needs to be done legitimately. And just all the holdups are quite aggravating. But the thing about it is, just like we've heard before, if there's nothing to hide, then what are you so worried about? This will come. This will be a playing factor. Trust me. So, I just know that, and the truth always comes out. Usually it'll come out at the right time, and things tend to work themselves out. I know that much. So there's talks amongst some of the January 6th people. Benny Thompson, who is totally a fair person, who has no bias. He's just a good dude all around. Wink, wink. There were some talks. I don't know if this is true or not, but they say that there was talks that they wanted that whenever Bill Barr was state attorney. I mean, what do you call it? DOJ or whatever. When Bill Barr was involved with Trump, there was some talks about seizing the voting machines, and now they're going to try to use that as some kind of military coup. They want so bad to be able to project what they are doing onto us. Just saying. That's something else. And then Wisconsin Speaker Voss pushing legislation. Now, this is the big kicker right here. This is what always just be like. Right now, the judge has ruled those drop boxes to be illegal. They're not supposed to be used anymore. Wisconsin Speaker Voss is secretly pushing legislation to increase the number of them after the judge ruled them illegal in the state. And it's as simple as that. And see, Timothy Rampton's caught up in the middle of that. He lost all of his staff because he put Voss's name out there and said, "Look, this is what's going on." And Voss retaliated with a Marxist move by like trying to discredit that man. Took all of his staff away from him. That way he couldn't do what he had to do. And all because of the fact that he told him, like, Voss is the reason why these drop boxes are even here. And Voss is involved with Gableman as far as he was the one that appointed Gableman to do the investigation, like way too late, but mostly because of the fact that it was just a dog and pony show. Now, I don't know what the deal is with Gableman because of the fact that we hear talk about doing something, and then I don't know. Like I say, I did a thing where just a little bit ago talking about how he wants to jail certain people. Hopefully, the scenario is, I don't know, is that Gableman is kind of went rogue. He decided to actually work instead of like being somebody who's just going to run the clock out. Maybe he sees that he has family and he doesn't want them to grow up in a communist America, and that he is a tipping point because he might be just one man, but that one man has the ability to tip the scale one way or another. And I hope he knows this, which I'm sure he does because he seemed pretty smart. So there could be a situation where Voss accidentally appointed the wrong person. He was supposed to just kind of kick the dirt around and make it look like something was going on. I don't know. We'll know at the end of we'll know one day. Doesn't matter as long as we're here, but as long as we can, I want the truth. We need to get the truth, but we also need to be able to have the laws that are already in place be enforced as well. You can have all the laws you want. If nobody enforces them, then laws are no good. So, with that being said, that's a little bit of the people picking process news. I want to bring you a little bit more something. It is kind of like, it's a little bit lighthearted to me because this is China for you, man. Finally, you know, they were like, you know, come on, let's do these Olympics over here in the Beijing. Come on now, y'all come on over here. And that's how Chinese people talk. They talk like me, like, yo, what's happening? Yo. Anyway, they don't. And so China was previously given these COVID tests, and they were doing this thing with an anal swab. I don't know if any people heard this, but they actually did this for the beginning of the pandemic, where it was like, mostly it was done to American citizens, like ambassadors and people that were, you know, that were coming in, like they were doing this to demoralize these people. They claim it's a more accurate test, but it said there was like, oh my goodness, what was it? 27 people underwent this anal swab test. So at the beginning of all this, they were anal swabbing the people, putting the COVID swab in your butthole, and then the U.S. said, okay, this is causing undignified and problems and causing psychological distress. And at the time of this happened, it was up to 27 people who had been done this way before they decided to say stop. Well, check this out. If I'd have been on that plane or whatever, and I'd have got off and walked in there and been like, hey, okay, here you go. I'd have been like, going back to America, going back, send me back. Don't need to get off. There would have been 26, not 27. So these 27 people are so beta that they couldn't tell them people said don't do this. They let them do this. It's awful, but it's a process that's done with a long swab, and it just. But they brought it back. The whole moral of the story is they brought this test back just in time for the Winter Olympics. So anybody who is going over there to watch the Olympics and be involved in the Olympics, you are going to get a swab test in your butthole. And if you're a contracted competitor, like say for instance you've signed contracts with people to sponsor you to go there, you can't say I'm not doing it now, because, well, I guess you could, but it would take you. I guess that's pretty much you selling your butthole now. That's how that works out. If you know you don't want a thing stuck in your butthole, but you can't say no because you've accepted money on your butthole's behalf, and you won't get that money if you don't let them stick it in your butthole, then that's the same thing as selling your butthole. I'm sorry. So think twice about messing with China. Moral of the story. Think twice. It's not always worth it. And don't sell your butthole. Anyhow, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I want to thank everybody for being a new subscriber. And I want to thank everybody for sticking with me through this video. I'm just trying to bring you as much news about what's happening with our people picking process. And if anybody is new watching this video, I want to bring people into open arms of warmth and love because of the fact that, you know, I'm a conservative. I believe in America. I believe in everybody in America. I think everybody in America has a place. And I think if we all sort of like do a little bit of our part, we will find that place, and it will be like excellent. We're already excellent, but we'll be even more excellent. So lots of love to everybody. Shannon at Devoted Patriots, please check him out. Check out the Fox and Archibald Show on This Way Network on YouTube and on Locals and on Rumble. And then check me out too. I'm right here. I got doing videos all the time, man, and I'm doing my best to save America. And I love America. I love everybody in here. We love God too. So with that being said, God is in control. Have a wonderful rest of the evening, which this video will probably load overnight, hopefully. So I'll see y'all in the morning. All right. Lots of love. Bye.
Whole group of lawyers who are going out to every voter registration physician in the states, the secretaries of state, making sure that they in fact have a game plan as to how they're going to allow the voting to take place.